T. This is my first video, but yeah, I'm gonna be posting every week. So y'all like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, man, let's get straight to the video. We're gonna be talking about law of detachment, why it's important, my personal experience. Everything that I speak on is from personal experience and the knowledge and wisdom I've gained from God. So, the law of detachment is important because when you cling on to results or just the end result, something that you're gaining from, something you're doing or pursuing, it takes the potential and authenticity of what you're doing. You know what I mean? You always got to stay present and, just detach from any outcome, from any person, because the only thing that you can really control is yourself. What you do, how you react to things, and, just the way you live life, you control that. You know what I mean? So it's always best to detach from anything outside of yourself because you can only control you. And that's the best thing about free will is, when you detach yourself from things, bro, sometimes the result comes, but you can't be too high or too low. You have to understand that if it goes right, cool. If it don't, cool. You're still whole, and you're still content with who you are as a person, right? And what God has blessed you with. If you woke up today, if you're breathing right now, if you're watching this video, you're blessed. God equipped you with everything that you need to survive another day and to become your best version and to attract and manifest that life that you desire, right? And you gotta have faith. You gotta believe. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing too. But when you detach from things, it gives your life and the universe space to bring and attract the things that you want, because now you're not so fixated on, oh, it has to go this way, it has to happen at this time. Like, when you detach, you gotta understand that if it happens, cool. You know what I mean? If it happens, that's good. If it don't happen, it's not my time yet, right? You stay middle, you stay balanced. You still pursue, you still put work into what you're doing, but don't be so worried about the outcome. Don't be so worried about results. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's about who you become, not what you gain. The most important currency in this life is your energy. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's what you should be focused on. Okay, cool. Is my energy good? Is my energy right? Am I living right? Am I being righteous? You got to go through that process, right? And that's what the journey is about. Everybody has their own journey in life. Some people might want to be an influencer, content creator. Some people might want to play tennis. Some people want to be a preacher. Some people want to do different things, and they got different callings. But you got to understand that you got to go through the process to become that, right? It shouldn't matter how long it takes, because like I said, everybody's journey is different. You have to enjoy that process, because once you get everything that you're, longing for and wanting, you'll realize like, oh yeah, it's cool for a moment, but I became a better person at the end of the day. I became stronger. I became more abundant. You become what you want to be. That's the biggest thing. And that's what, I want to get on here and get on this YouTube and really spread and talk about is you got to become. All right. God gave you everything you need within to be successful at whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? And every day is a blessing, bro. Every day you got to stay present. That's the biggest thing, is being present. Be where your feet are. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you don't know when your clock is up. So, you just got to go with life. Whatever life throw at you, you got to just go with it. Make the best out of it. And, again, enjoy the process. Always ask yourself, what can I learn from this? You know what I mean? How can I implement this into myself and, live it out? You know what I mean? Me, personally, I read the Bible. I go off of that. If I have a question about something, I'll go to the Word, look up a Bible verse about it, and, try to live it out and keep it in my mind throughout the day. Everybody works different, I don't read chapters at a time, sometimes I mean, I've been in the Bible for a while, you know, but as of recently, what works for me is reading a verse and just keeping that in my mind and, you know, going through that. But yeah, bro, you just got to detach from life because everything is vain. Everything is meaningless. You know, it says that in the Bibles. I don't know what chapter, but it says that in the Bible. You know, everything is meaningless. So you can't take none of this stuff with you, right? So do your best, achieve the most you can, but don't be so fixated on material things to where you're attached to it. Because when you attach to those things and it gets stripped away, now it's dictating how you feel about yourself. Never let anything or anyone make you change how you feel about yourself, especially when things don't go your way, you know, because, you know, God doesn't make no mistakes ever, right? So if you pursuing something, you want to be a basketball player, you want to be an influencer, you want to be a streamer, you want to be whatever it is you want to be, understand you got to go through the journey to become that. So whatever that comes with, everyone's different, embrace it, love it, enjoy it, the good and the bad times, you know, because at the end of the day, when you look back, you're like, dang, I really changed, right? I'm a walking testimony of this, bro. Like, you know, I just got sick for like the last few months. And, you know, I'm going through that journey of healing. And I gained a new level of consciousness during this time because I understood, okay, my words, my thoughts, and my feelings is what is going to help me heal, right? Because now I'm healthy, now I'm good, you know, and things are working in my favor. You know, all glory to God for sure. But in the Bible, it tells you got to renew your mind daily. So every single day, bro, you know, you got to be able to remind yourself what you want in life. But don't attach yourself to the outcome. Understand it's going to come. You already put the package in. You already put your order into God, right? So you got to believe. Right? Like he says in his word, if you believe that you can move this mountain with what you say, you believe what you say, and you don't doubt, it'll move. It's the same thing in your life. The Bible really is, you got to be able to decode it, you know, because it's not literal, you know what I mean? It's not literal. Jesus spoke in parables, but it's the same thing in life, bro. No doubt. So you know what comes with not doubting anything? You're detached from it. You know what's going to happen, right? So now your perspective is going to start changing. You know what I mean? Your reality starts to shift. Once you become that person, that version of you that, you know, you want to become, that desired reality that you want, your life, you start to do things unconsciously and your reality starts to shift. People start to treat you different. People start to move different. You start to lose things. You start to lose things that don't correlate with where you're going, or with what God has in store for you. Because when you ask for something, God's going to give you more than what you ask for. 100 times out of 10. So you just got to be prepared. And that's what that molding, you know, you got to go through a molding season. You got to go through the furnace, right? Just like they do with metal. They weaken the metal, they break the metal down, then form it into what it needs to be. It's the same thing in your life. And that's what God does to you. He breaks you all the way down. Whether that be sickness, whether that be losing everything, or, you know, going broke, going homeless, you know, because you got to go through hard times to appreciate the great times that are ahead, that is going to come, right? Especially if you survive through, you know, certain things. You know, if you're watching this video, you survived up to this point. You got through whatever situation you went through, because everybody goes through something. You made it to this point to watch this video on your phone, computer, whatever. You're breathing. Maybe you didn't eat today, you know. Maybe you ain't make no money today, but you're still here. That means God still has a purpose for you, right? So, you know, you just got to continue to go through the process and detach from the outcome. Because once you become the person that you need to be, you can start from ground zero and get everything that you wanted. It can be stripped from you. You know how to go about it. You know, like, okay, cool. I can go through this process way faster because I've already been through what I needed to go through to become the person to cherish, achieve, and attract everything that I want. Right? So you're not just gonna get what you want. You gotta go through the process. You gotta be shaped into that person. So if you're being broken down right now, or, you know, maybe you're seeing the blessings, cherish it. You know what I'm saying? Understand that there's another version of you out there. Whatever you thinking about, that version of you exists. God don't give you visions and dreams for no reason, for you not to be able to achieve it. If you have a dream or a vision, you're going to be able to achieve it. But you got to be righteous, you got to be pure in everything you do the best way you can, whether that be social media, what you listen to, who you're around. If it's not reflecting what you want in life, you got to cut it off. You know, you can't go through that portal, you can't go through that door with all this baggage from your past life. Friends, family, things, situations, places, whatever the case may be, feelings, mindsets. You have to be renewed. I hope this video helps somebody. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. I'm gonna have my social medias in my pinned comments, because I'm not at the level yet to, you know, put the links on there. But TikTok, I post every day, and Instagram, you know, I post on there whenever I feel like it, you know what I mean? But I love y'all, man, and I'm out.